All right, now international markets have had a dramatic reaction to the U.S. presidential election results. The uncertainty of what Donald Trump's presidency will look like has caused a downward spiral across the global markets. Well, to get a handle on the reaction by European markets, we're joined now by Craig Erlam from London. He's a senior market analyst at Oanda, a company that specializes in the currency market. Okay, as a currency specialist, let's start where the dollar is now. Is it performing? It's outperforming several currencies, but where do things stand right now?
Well, it's outperforming certain currencies. Things like the Mexican peso has taken quite a hammering overnight, which is unsurprising given Donald Trump's rhetoric towards the Mexican economy, the North American Free Trade Agreement, which Mexico relies very heavily on for trade. The US accounts for around 80% of Mexican exports, so any threat to tear up the agreement is very bad for the economy and therefore very bad for the currency. So the Mexican peso is still down just shy of 10% at this stage, but was down around 13% earlier on. Elsewhere, though, we are seeing the dollar broadly lower today, down around half a percentage point in total. I think really what we're seeing, as you say, is we're seeing quite a lot of risk aversion still in the markets. We have pulled back from earlier losses, which was more of a knee-jerk reaction to the announcement. But I think the comments which we actually had from Trump following the announcement did actually soothe the markets somewhat. They were a lot more positive, a lot more optimistic, and maybe less in line with some of the rougher, I guess, comments that we had from him during the election campaign.
Certainly. I mean, one thing that we're seeing here right now is that markets do not like uncertainty, and we're seeing this in the numbers. But do you think it's going to be a knee-jerk reaction here, or are we going to see some of these things play out for the next several weeks or perhaps even months, or until Donald Trump takes office?
I think we could see it continue to play out. I think one of the things that we learned from Brexit is that well, we do see that big knee-jerk reaction in the markets. They can recover quite quickly. After Brexit, equity markets, for example, fell for 2 days and then started to recover gradually thereafter. The pound, of course, continued to fall for different reasons. With regards to the US, I think as long as the comments coming from Trump are more positive and focus more on building the US economy and less on breaking trade agreements, I think that we will start to see the market stabilise somewhat. I guess the next key factor really for the US dollar in particular is going to be whether the Fed is still going to pursue a rate hike in December. If the Fed does suggest or indicate that it will do, then I think that could help provide some reprieve in the dollar, which, like I say, has taken a little bit of a hit today, but not compared to certain other currencies such as the peso. The Japanese yen has surged quite considerably following this, benefiting to an extent from its safe haven status. But at the same time, this is an appreciation which the Bank of Japan and Japanese Finance Ministry will not welcome because they already view it as being overvalued. So we've seen a lot of turbulence in the markets today. I do think they will start to settle down over the next few days. But again, as we've seen since Brexit, this does leave them vulnerable to some sharp swings in the months to come.
All right, fair enough. Oanda's Craig Erlam joining us live from London. Thank you.